CMMS Radio talks about all things CMMS, computerized maintenance management software, focused on maintenance management. It's the people, the process, and the culture that make your CMMS journey a success. Man, everybody, I can always say it's a special episode, but this right here is crazy. The man you see on screen is Joe L. Brown Jr., and he's known as Your Welding Coach. He's also over there consulting at Arkansas Baptist College. He's the welding supervisor, which means he can kind of put his stamp on and help all these, whether it's youngsters or people that are reskilling, maybe even people doing re-entry and all this really good stuff. And I've been watching him on LinkedIn. I check out his YouTube, and we just kind of started connecting and talking. It's all about these skilled trades and building our future. So I want to welcome you to CMMS Radio. This is long overdue. I'm really excited about it. Joe Brown, what is going down?
What's going on, brother? What's going on, man? I'm excited too, so you've been giving me all this good energy, over this period of time we've been connected. And so, I really feel it's an honor to be able to give it back. So, I'm humbled today and I'm ready to hold a conversation, man. Let's talk about something.
Yeah. So we were just chopping it up about how and kind of why you do what you do at Arkansas Baptist College. And that's kind of connected to everything you're all about. So I was thinking you could kind of tell people what you do there, why it's important that you're involved, and how that kind of creates this indelible stamp that's just going to last.
Okay. Most first off, I would like to give Coach Fitz, which is President Fitzgerald Hill. I want to give him his flowers because he opened up the door. He was a ex-president there for about 10 years. Now he's back there helping the college rebuild and rebrand. And he's seen the vision with the skilled trades. Me and him met on an occasion, and I invited him out to come to my last graduation I had at another school. And it was so funny because I invited him out to speak. After he heard me speak to the students, he's like, "Man, I don't even want to say nothing." But he was like, "Man, you done took the show." But he still got up and talked, and he was like, "Man, I'm really excited." So we connected then, and we started building a vision. It took about a year. So I was went back to Georgia. I was in Birmingham doing some things. It took us about a year, and we finally, went through the little stages because I had to go before the board because this is a completely different program. You know what I mean? So they introducing skilled trades, so this is a completely new deal. And so they wanted to meet me and know my background and where I'm coming from. I'm coming from more of an experience standpoint. I have my paperwork is Arkansas High School diploma, which is a GED. And then I went to a combination of welding program, which was a VOTEC program. It was like 40 hours, about a 12 months, 14 months. And then I have about 6 months in small business management, a course that I took in college. So it was a 6 months course. So it wasn't like a degree, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have that, but I have over 22 years experience in the trade. And as for running a business, I started mine independently in 2016. So this year, in May the 25th, made 10 years of me learning the business. You know what I mean? So I was able to implement that because Dr. Fitz, he do the business program. So it made sense to come in teaching entrepreneurship, teaching trades, teaching skills. And so it just kind of all came together as a whole at the college. So the college there, it's been there since 1884. So one historical thing I like about this particular college, the main building was actually built by slaves. Like they literally built it and they left the columns. So they got columns inside the main hall that's still there from the origination. So that's kind of cool just to be a part of something like that. So it was more of I need to get my, from what I've been building, now it's time to connect my legacy with somebody that's already been standing and already been verified. So to be a part of it, it was like, okay, this is like literally living to be remembered. This is putting my name in a piece of history, building this program, no matter what happened. They can't take that from me that I built it and put it together. So I jumped all over the opportunity to be a part of it. So that's pretty much how it came together as a whole. But I had to explain it like that because it wasn't like it didn't happen overnight. But it did happen over time, and that's what I think people get caught up. Sometimes they'll have a vision, and they'll get excited about the vision because the vision makes you excited. But then you have to do the work. You have to plant the seed. You have to stay focused. You have to stay focused on the journey. And I think that's when people get discouraged and don't allow the vision to unfold. So it took a year to unfold, but it was worth it. So everything happened for a reason. It was right on time. So, so I feel, like I say, I'm happy and excited about being there. And this is my third cohort too. I want to say that we just started it Monday. So the program just kicked up. It's the third cohort. So it's getting better and better. We're getting more equipment. Things are getting started. The word is out. I actually created a playlist, and my playlist that I created and the videos in it, already got over 1 million views already. So
Yeah.
the word is out about the program.
Is that something people would find on? Because I know you got Meta 24, then you got also Your Welding Coach. They can find that on YouTube. Is that where they would get access to that?
Yeah. So you had to if you go to YouTube. So my YouTube playlist is called the Arkansas Adult Education Playlist.
All
So
right,
this
good.
program, this program that we have, so the college is going to be, they're pretty much establishing 2 to 3 programs on the ground. So it's one program, but it's covering 3 different sources. So you have the Arkansas Adult Education Program that's there with the GED program. So when they introduce trades, they also introduce GED so they can help people get their GED, get a skill, get a degree. So that way you can step up. So they wanted the step up program, and then it builds up confidence in people because people don't know if you're there for a GED, for trades, or for going to school. So they just know you there learning, and once they accomplish something, they feel good. So all of my students that I'm getting in these first cohorts are from the GED. They went in, put the work in, got their GED. Now they're excited to be in the welding program. So it was a step up. So it's a win-win,
The thing about, so like there's a lot here to unpack. So I'm like racing around in my brain going, first of all the stuff you explained at the front end, that's your degree. And that's, it's different if someone's going to go become a doctor or a lawyer. And we're not saying don't go to college. We're saying you don't have to go to college. And those old school posters, and you hear about them, they show the college degree and then they show the construction guy with the hard hat looking all bummed out. Everybody I know in the skilled trades, I mean, there might be a few exceptions, but they're so satisfied, they thrive, they can do something. And you said something else, and I wanted to quote a really, really, really close friend of mine. His name is Brian Bieschke, and he does industrial maintenance, industrial repair. He's a real deal pro. He's part of this group I call the syndicate that is, these people that really get it. They've been there, they've done it, and they really know how to help people get results, all that nonsense. He says, do the work, just do the work. And you said kind of that same thing, but getting to the welding, when I think about welding and what you're teaching people, regardless of their age, right? And I sometimes I'm thinking about our youth having these opportunities to get out into the real world. They're the ones we're going to lean on when the shit goes down. They're the ones that are going to become Boilermakers. They're the ones that are going to do those special projects you talk about, like, oh, this is how you actually convert a container into a home or a studio shed or whatever you want to call it. All these different things. We need that because we've got that gap and everybody talks about that. But there's a bigger picture to it because some of these individuals, regardless of what age, young, old, reskilling, they're going to go out into environments that I talk to a lot of people in. They might be in a manufacturing facility or some production environment, not just like Boilermakers, but where things need to be welded and welded properly. It's incredibly difficult if you don't know how and you're not trained, unless you're a natural, to lay a bead. And then there's these, and I don't know a whole ton about it. Last time I ever did any welding was 40 years ago in shop class, auto shop in high school, which is another thing I wanted to bring up to you. So I'm just really, really happy that we can tell this story and people can find you and that these opportunities exist out there. But do you find that a lot of the high schools, before they get to the college or that level, are shop classes coming back that you know of, or is it still a problem where they kind of eliminated those?
You know what? I can't say this. So I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas right now, and I can say here, I can see them starting to encourage it more. Like they're putting more into certain schools, and certain schools are actually been implementing more trades, and companies being able to come in and get the students more familiar with them. So I'm starting to see that now. So and we know things takes time, but to me that's a big push to see that, because I actually had a mother, ironically, bring her son to come talk to me Monday. And I was actually finishing up class, and I ain't even had no scheduled appointments. But you could just come to the campus and walk around. Where she has been hearing about my name, and evidently someone sent her a TikTok video, so she was impressed, and her son was about to sign up. So she just wanted to talk to me and ask me some questions.
Mm.
And what I noticed about a lot of parents and students, but when it comes to parents though, the leadership, a lot of times they don't do any homework at all. So, we get on our kids about doing homework, but we don't do any research, a lot of research. So it's kind of like, it's kind of hard to call the kettle black. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, we got to give the same thing that we get them. So sometimes I hear things from, and I had to say this because sometimes I hear things from students that's younger, and I'll be like, your parents told you that? And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I get to thinking, okay, I see what a problem is. You know what I mean? The cycle has to start, so I had to explain to her the opportunities, because she kind of frowned on it. And I want to
Look.
say this because she kind of frowned on the trade. That's why I want
Uh-huh.
to that's why I'm kind of pulling the coattail a little bit with this story, because she came in and said, my son is excited about this, but, he can really get more money doing this. You know what I'm saying? And, and I looked at her, I said, yeah, you're right. I said, but he can get fired doing that, and then he ain't got no money. He ain't got no skill. I said, but with this, he can build his own skill set, which he's going to college for business, which he can be able to transition over to figure out how he can own his own, and can't no one take it from him. I said, but if I just give you $1, I can remove that, and then you hungry again. You know what I'm saying? So then she calmed down and want to know. Then she's like, you know what? I'm gonna do a little bit more research about this welding. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And I was
that.
just giving her ideas on, don't cast it out just because you think it's physical, it's dirty, it's not no thinking involved. So for some reason, a lot of people think it's not no thinking. And I did say it's different levels to it. Like I tell the students, I made an example, even I was talking to him, I'm like, so what kind of welding have you been doing? And he said, well, I've been doing some wire welding. They introduced it at the school. Ironically, like he was saying, the they started to bring it into the school. He said, well, we've been doing some flux core. So he's like, we were running some T joints and stuff, so I'm familiar with that. So I'm like, how is that? He said, oh, yeah, it's easy because I just hit the trigger. So he asked me, what do we teach there? I said, well, we teach the introduction, but I start off on the TIG process. I said, I only have 6 weeks. So the first 4 weeks, we teach TIG. After 4 weeks, I introduce them to the other processes. But it's just a small setting so they can touch it. But I was telling them why I do that, because you build more skill set from the harder process, which make the other processes easier, but you create more opportunities to know what direction you want to go in. Because hitting a trigger and being a marksman is two different things. I said, so I said, a lot of youngsters, they like to listen to the video. They say, oh, I'm a driving Jayco. I said, that's what flux core and MIG is. It's like grabbing, hitting the button. I said, but ain't a lot of thinking in there. So it's not going to be a lot of money too, if that's all you want to do. I said, but if you learn this, now you a marksman. People want you on their team because you can do things that can't nobody else do. You can
Right.
think and lay out. Now you can read prints and you can lay out and you can still weld. So now you're more valuable.
Your
But she
skill
wasn't looking at
stacking.
it. Exactly. So she wasn't looking at it like that. So I said, if I come to any student and I only show them one way with the trade, I'm not doing it no justice than anybody else that came before me that's teaching it.
Right. You're trying to
Because
give
to
them
me,
a toolkit so that they
yeah, I'm
can.
trying to give them a kid to give them options. I'm giving you options. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times they don't even know they have any. They only knew one way. So I'm showing them, due to the fact that I had to diversify it and I had to tweak it and I had what I had to do for my situation, coming home being a felon, I had to learn some things. And I was so ironic. And this is have nothing to do with, let me say this too. Because I said this to the students. I said, now, if you a felon first, that's a that steps you back off the top. I said, now we ain't even talking about your color, where you what nationality you is, none of that. Just being a felon. Now I say if you're in that situation, now you already behind. Now let's go a step on front of that. Now you ain't got no skills. Now your education is low. So now you a step lower behind. We ain't even put no color in yet because color don't matter yet. You still got two things that ain't got nothing to do with that. I said, now you in the wrong area where it's not available. You see what I'm saying? So now what you want to do, you can't do because it's not there. So you got to find where the opportunities is. Well, and move around to get that opportunity. So that's how we have to look at it.
With the right skill set built on the right foundation, regardless of where you've been, it's about where you're going. And, maybe speaking from some experience, but not all of it. And this is why this is all so fascinating. It relates to the reskilling. Someone that says, I'm tired of this corporate stuff and all that. I want to be able to do some of these things myself. When people learn a skill like welding, and it's multifaceted, they start to also learn at the exact same time how to think, how to problem solve, how should these two parts go together for a stronger bond so that they become a single unit that's not going to break, that can withstand temperature, pressure, and all those things. And then all the other little things in their life, they can start to apply that as well. I got people that have a certain skill set, they're in the skilled trades, they got nice little businesses, or maybe they work someplace, but when there's something wrong at the house or a friend's got a problem, they can literally help figure it out, even if they've never done it before, because they know things like safety protocols, PPE. All right, what's this connected to before I touch it? Do I need to shut something off? Do I need to move something out of the way? All those basics are where it all starts and kind of ends, because if you don't have it, just like you said, if I know how to do one type of welding, I might get some work and I can do some good stuff, and that's important. But if I can do 3, 4, 5 different styles and types, it makes me a more valuable asset to myself, to my employers, to my customers, and to the world at large, because I can do more than one thing. But it all started with that base. So this is why I love talking about this stuff. And typically I'm focused on maintenance management, the software around it. But this is directly connected, because these guys and gals you're working with are going to end up, and I said it before, in all these different environments. And I'm curious, when it comes to...
I actually got one of my students that went into maintenance. I just want to say that. He's welding in maintenance. Yeah.
Really?
Welding, he's doing the maintenance for a place that they deal with a lot of manufacturing chicken plates where they had to have a lot of stainless. So he fixing a lot of conveyors and welding on conveyors and putting stuff in. So, but he's working maintenance there, welding on stainless. So that's pretty cool. So, but God, you said that, so I had to throw that out there.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. And, anybody that's wondering how is this all connected, it's connected to our everyday lives, man. Like if I got something that needs to be welded, I ain't going to go grab my welder and weld it. I don't have one. And I don't know what I'm doing. And if it's oxyacetylene, I'm going to be a little bit stressed anyway, because I want to get those pressures right. And I want to, I'm going to hit the sparker and be like, we heard all the stories when I was in high school about, some kid said it wrong and then he hit the sparker, and you know what comes next. It's not a good thing. It's very, very dangerous. I heard a story once that some of these knuckleheads before my time took the oxyacetylene tanks out into the middle of a field, and they did something on purpose. How stupid is that? But it's a wild world when you look at the skilled trades, all these different things, how they're interconnected. We're all talking about it. We're beating the drum. We're shouting from the mountaintops, and it seems like it's changing, but we can't stop. And I think you said something about the parents. I want to go back to that, where if people can get out and spare a little bit of time to talk to a high school or some other organization, say, I want to just talk to all your people about some of these things you're missing out on and some of these things that can give you a way forward. The parents need further education on it, because they just don't know how awesome it is. And they don't understand or realize when a child, a man, a woman, whoever learns these things, they have that forever. They can essentially always put it to work.
They don't even understand, they be in awe when I explain to them what I have done and things I have created and sold and made and fixed and repaired. And they was like, you can do all that from welding? I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? So it's ironic, but I want to add this this piece in it, because this is what I have learned, and building my philosophy in what I'm doing now, building my curriculum, because I created this curriculum that I'm implementing right now. It's called FWP, the Fabrication Welding Program. And in this, I created this to teach welding, fabrication, entrepreneurship, and life skills. All of those had to go in, and the life skills implement not only basic life skills, but job readiness, getting you ready for the job, what you're going to actually be facing, realistic situations, so they'll know what they're facing, and helping them deal with issues. And one thing that I realized, and this is something that, man, I don't care if they old or young, I have seen this in everybody, and this goes back to the parents, how people was raised and how we thinking. So it's a mental thing. Everyone that I deal with, I have to tell them, my new thing is when you come in, I got a little basket on the little door. It said, leave your ego at the door. It got like a pillow on it. I said, you can leave it down soft. I don't want you to hurt it. Just drop it in there. And when you get ready to leave, you can pick it back up. I don't want to be harsh with it, so I put a pillow on it. Just put it on the pillow. So that way when you leave, you can take it out. Because that is not going to help you in this process. You're about to learn something you never did. And if you bring that, it's only going to hurt you and hinder you from learning. So one thing I figured out is welding is also very big on mental health. And a lot of people don't really understand how this play into mental health. But this is what I have been noticing over the last few years. And that's why I created and put it into this curriculum. I can't weld nothing if I'm focused on my problems at the house. If I got my kids, if I'm stressing on this, I can't focus on the bead. It's not gonna happen. So I have to show them how to move that problem, place it over here, and let's focus on this and show them how they can do it. A lot of people don't know how to separate their problems. They think they have to think them all the time. So as we get in there, I show them how to separate it, focus on the bead. As we get it, they forget about the problem. They get excited on what they're learning. Then, like, oh man, it's time to go. And then they realize, so I can separate the two. A lot of people didn't know. They think they got to know. You can separate it.
Plus,
So it helps them.
Don't you think that? I mean, I don't know if I'm right or wrong about this, but also when you're welding and you're focusing like that, and you can compartmentalize it, or however you want to call it, like put it over here and just stay in that focused kind of zone doing your work, that kind of recharges you to better able handle the stress and the situation.
Yes, it does.
You might be thinking a little bit more instead of like that ego, you might be thinking a little bit more like, life's a series of problems, we just got to find solutions.
Yes, and the cool thing about welding, to add to the mental thing, when people learning it, you know what I figured out? Whatever the problem is what they have a problem with. They don't have patience. You got to have. So I find people, I say, it's like a mirror. You ain't got no patience. And I tell them, I just tell them.
So have you, I mean, it's a personal question, but like, through all of your experiences going all the way back, man, like did you learn along the way kind of obviously some real deal hardcore lessons where you started to wrestle with and identify that, oh man, I go 0 to 100 right now, I gotta fix that? Like is that how you learn this kind of stuff? Like, is going through your life and going through all the challenges?
Yeah, going through personal challenges as well, seeing how things work. And then I'm gonna tell you the main thing I had, as far as, I'm glad you said that, because about my personal challenge, because I want to implement something that I personally worked on that helped me. So when you're passionate about something, real passionate, at times your passion and the mission can get together. And what I have learned is the passion got to have principles. And the principles give you boundaries. So that way, you know that you're not going to overstep certain boundaries that keep you from proceeding with the mission. Because you are passionate, you can get too emotional, or get caught up in situations, because I have been there. I have had situations where I have had older students, no lie, get mad at me, you know what I'm saying, because they're not learning it and want to get aggressive with me. So I literally told them, since I'm from the streets, I said, hey man, we can come over here if that's what you need to do in this corner, and we can be man and get this out the way. I said, but win, lose, or draw, you still don't know, and I still got to teach you. So when we get done doing this, we need to go back to this booth so I can teach you. I have had that happen a couple times. A couple times. And normally, every time that it happened, only happened to me 2 times. It was always with man 35 and up. The only problems I have had has been man 35 and up that I have literally almost had to get into a fist fight with because they wasn't getting it. Because they was throwing stuff in the booth. I'm like, man, what's going on? So it caused a situation. You know what I'm saying? So, and
well,
then
they were
me
just
being how I am, I have to be
frustrated.
defensive.
That was
Yeah.
that was that ego, and like I'll
Yes,
tell
that's
you,
that ego. And exactly, they throwing stuff. And look, they'll get mad like somebody will come and move the curtain just to say hello. Oh man, you messed my whale up. Hold up, man. The man just saying hi. He ain't got nothing to do with what your whale looking like. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I think we all got that in us, and we get like thousands of opportunities to recognize it and try to do something about it. And I ain't saying it's easy, because I struggle with it too. I think that's a human thing. And you talked about it, man. You set that ego on that pillow. Yeah, take you a little nap or whatever. I know I'm talking crazy, dropping my R's now all of a sudden, but it's not that hard, but it's work. It's hard work. You got to
It's
be
work. Exactly. You
intentional.
got to be consistent with it. But
Yeah.
the cool thing is, normally they say it takes at least 21 days to start to form a habit. I
Yeah.
tell the students, my course is 6 weeks. The base is we just started, so it's 6 weeks. In this 6 weeks, we are starting a new habit and we are breaking old habits. I said a lot of y'all haven't been holding yourself accountable. So if you make it through this whole 6 weeks, then I can be able to say, I know you'll make it on the job.
Right, because you
I
just
know
made it through this.
you just exact, and a lot of them didn't even know. I had one student. It was ironic because she literally told me, "Man, I haven't made it through nothing but high school. I didn't got kicked out of everything." You know what I mean? And she was 20. She said, "I made it out of high school, but everything else it just ain't been working." I was like, "I'm gonna give this a shot. I really want to do it, but if it don't work, I guess I don't know." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, don't feel like that. But then she ended up being good.
Man.
End up getting it, end up learning it. Now the rest of it is based on her, dealing with her issues. And that's what I learned. Like I say, it goes back to mental health. Everybody you see has something they dealing with in the mirror. And welding allows them to face it. Like because you can't finesse it. You can't like look at it and say, "Ooh, I got it." You got to put some work in. It's
Yeah.
like you ain't. It's like going to the gym saying you got all these muscles. You ain't got them if you ain't hit that bitch.
Yeah, and you
You know
got to
what I'm saying?
start at the
So
beginning, and it's going to take time,
it's gonna take
effort,
time. Exactly.
intention.
So
Yeah, dude, this is so much fun. Now one of the things in first timers on CMMS radio, they got to kind of suffer through. It's called the fun question segment, and it's been a while.
okay.
It's been a minute since I did it. Because we're gonna keep this going. I want to talk to you again on the podcast in the future, but I want to put this as kind of like an end cap, and then at the end I'm gonna have you do some shout outs on some stuff. But are you ready for the fun question segment?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, now there's no wrong answers here. You just say it like it is. This is just for us to have a little fun and a little bit of a way for people to get to know Joe in a different kind of way. First question: what is your favorite music?
My favorite music, it'll have to be hip hop. That'll be
Right.
my favorite.
All right. Next fun question. What is your favorite sport or hobby? And if it's a hobby, if it's a sport, it doesn't have to be one that you play. It could be one you like to root for.
So it could be a sport or a hobby.
Yeah, or both. I don't care.
I would say that right now, one of my favorite hobbies to do is learning financial literacy. Like
All
I ain't
right.
gonna lie, I love it. Like it's a hobby. Like I love learning how to market, sell, scale. I like it. You know, that's what I'm into right now. Like I'm learning more about. So I'm more into that right now. Like so, as for sports, since you said that, I grew up in sports, but I don't even watch them. Right now to this day, I don't watch football, baseball, nothing. I haven't in years. So I can't hold a conversation with a man when it comes to sports because I had a situation and I kind of just cut it off. So I don't deal with it at all. I don't even watch it or nothing. But it's nothing against the league. I got partners like come over. I say I come over, hang out, and watch. You know, just something happen. But I'm not. It ain't on my TV. I don't know who's. Not, I don't watch it.
It's all
But my
good.
son is part of it, so I root for him. So he's in football, so I root for my son. You know, he's doing his thing. But now, my thing right now is just big on learning, and the reason why I say financial literacy because I'm trying to do something. I'm going to do something that has never been done in my family and in my generation. So I have to make sacrifices and learn things that no one else is willing to do. So I know the only way for me to get to where I'm going, I have to learn something that is challenging, and I'm just making it fun. Actually, I was laughing with someone the other day, and I said, you know what? Right now in my life, I feel like Pee Wee Herman. And then he started laughing. He said, what you mean? I said, man, I used to watch Pee Wee Herman growing up, and I liked the Pee Wee Herman. And he had an episode one time that always stuck out to me. And I used to always say, boy, when I grow up, I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? But he had some kids one time. He didn't want to clean his house up, or something was going on in the house. And he was like, man, I sure don't want to clean this house up. So we had some kids coming. And he had a bright idea. He was like, you know what? I'm going to turn it into a game and have them clean the house up. So when the kids came, he turned it into a game. They cleaned the whole house up. And he was like, see, you just got to know how to think. It just dawned on me. So sometimes we look at work and situations and problems wrong. And it always had touched me. So I'm always trying to think about how to improve education, how I can give you the information to help you get it quicker. Like that's what I'm about. Like that's what excites me.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that I'm doing, like the change. Like today, I had 8 students in there that had no experience on the grinder, never touched it, nothing. And we did the cutting wheel, the grinding wheel, the sanding wheel, and the wire wheel. And it was amazing watching them grab it first and jumping, not knowing, thinking it's going to bite them or something. And then after they got that first cut of that first grind, man, you would have thought they had been doing it for a while. Like they had built confidence. So that to me was amazing. Seeing
Yeah.
somebody go from 0 to 100 and then excited about wanting more. I mean, you can't, you know, to me, that's like the biggest thing. You know what I mean? To be
I'm
personal, like that's just
th-
big to me.
this is a perfect transition to fun question number 3. This is the big one. No wrong answers, man. There ain't no wrong answers
All
on
right.
this. What is your philosophy, perspective? Is it even a thing when it comes to this concept of work-life balance?
What is my concept on that? On
Yeah.
work-life balance? You know, honestly, I believe that a person should be able to enjoy life, but still be able to take care of their necessities and their bills, you know, to still be able to. So you might have to make a sacrifice, but my personal opinion, I think you can. Like, I really think you have to work hard for it, but I really think the balance of it is, to me, and my philosophy, and this is why I say this, and this goes back to my philosophy. Get the skills that pay your bills. Then learn something to sell that won't send you to jail. That's my philosophy right there. Because that's the way you're gonna win.
Hell yeah, man. That's that I've never had anybody say something exactly that way that tells the whole story. That was
I can't say it no
beautiful.
better than that. That's my
No,
philosophy right there.
that's
Get the
I'm
skills to pay your bills,
can I
then
steal
learn
that?
then learn how to sell something that won't send you to jail.
Yeah. That's good stuff, man. I'm gonna try do it one more time.
Okay. Get the skills to pay the bills. Then learn how to sell something that won't send you to jail.
I love it, man. I love it. So to close out the show or whatever we want to call this, man, let everybody know where they can find you, where they can find your content, and then I'll close us out.
Okay, family, I appreciate everybody for checking in with me. My full name is Joel Brown Jr. I like to say Joel Brown Jr. because there's a lot of Joe Browns out there in the world, so it makes me stand out just a little bit. But you can find me on social media, all platforms under the handle Your Welding Coach, yours personally, because I'm helping you too, fam. So Your Welding Coach on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn is Joel Brown Jr. I'm on X is Your Welding Coach. I'm also on TikTok as HogOnTV. So this is my brand. So you can find my brand on Amazon. You can get t-shirts, Prime to you 2-3 days, the full 9. So I'm on there with long sleeves, hoodies, the full 9, pillows. But I've been on Amazon, so that's a cool thing. I've been on there for a while. So that's just my brand for those who want to get some gear. For those who want to actually check out some of my ebooks and other material in my new website, visit yourweldingcoach.com. You can check out my ebooks. I have over 10 on there. Everything has been proven. Everything I got literally gives a transformation. So I'm not just selling information, I'm selling a transformation. So if you use it, it's going to help you, fam. So just make sure you come back and tell me. You know, it's a funny thing I always say. They say, man, why do you do this? I said, well, you know, I learned a concept in the scriptures when I heard a parable when Christ said, didn't I just heal 10, but only one came back to pay homage? So that let me know realistically what the numbers is. You might help a lot, but only a few gonna come back. So that makes me, I think big now. I said, so okay, I need to help 100,000. I'm gonna have 10,000 followers, 10,000 straight. I'm gonna keep. So that's how I think. I think big, and I know those who do come back, we gonna keep growing and growing and growing. So that's my philosophy, fam. So I appreciate y'all for checking in with me. If you're cool with me, keep fooling with me.
Joe L. Brown Jr., thank you for being here with me on CMMS Radio. Long overdue. I'll keep watching your journey and supporting it. Skilled trades forever, man.
Man, forever. Forever in the day. Be blessed, fam. Continues to prosper.
Right back at you. Did you find this episode helpful? Please send us some feedback, suggest a topic, or ask a question. Reach out to CMMS Radio if you need a co-pilot on your CMMS project. Visit CMMSradio.com and use the What's on Your Mind link. Thank you for tuning in to CMMS Radio, your resource for all things CMMS, from selection to implementation, to help you make better choices, learn from industry experts, and have a successful CMMS journey.